Welcome to our three-part series of videos on how to create a QuickBooks company file, add customers and invoices, and advanced usage. Brought to you today by the Dr. Dispatch software staff. As one of the owners of Dr. Dispatch, over the years I've seen hundreds, if not thousands, of companies in the way they've set up QuickBooks for their use. And I am not an accountant, but I do feel my advice is solid. Whether you're a trucking company, whether you're a broker, whether you're an agent for a trucking company or a broker or a 3PL, it matters not. A lot of people use QuickBooks and it's a popular piece of software, and we'll get started here on getting your company file set up. Okay, once you've got QuickBooks installed, no matter what version, obviously it's going to be 2011, 2012 Pro probably. Install it, get to the point where it wants to let you create a company file. We're going to do the interview starting here. There again, I'm just putting in simple stuff here. New transportation company, of course, put in your actual stuff here. Take the time to get it right. It's well worth it in the end. Next button on a list of companies here, you're going to find transportation, trucking, or delivery, which is exactly what we want. Choose that and go on next. Next will be what type of business you have, sole proprietorship, partnership, LLC, so on and so forth. A lot of people have LLCs these days. We'll check that. My fiscal year starts in January is the best place to leave this in my mind. It just gives you a simple calendar year that everybody follows, January through December. Some companies start the fiscal year when their company started business, February, March, April. Probably complicates things for the average guy, though. I'm going to leave this at January and go on. Password, you can leave it blank. I'd advise putting something in there, but don't forget it. Write it down. Put it in a notepad file somewhere or something. This is your administrator or admin login. Next, create the company file. We're going to leave this in the default location where QuickBooks creates it. Do give it a name down here. Try to avoid punctuation, special symbols, things like that. Spaces are fine. Transport company is fine. Don't use periods, commas, there again, these sorts of things. It just can lead to problems down the road if you're integrating with other software. Okay, we're going to go ahead and save this file and let it create the bulk of the accounts and so forth that we told it we needed for that type of a company, meaning trucking company. And you're going to have some accounts in here you won't use. That's fine. That doesn't mean you have to worry about them. They're going to have nothing in them, so nothing harmed there. We're going to go next. What do I sell? Everybody in this business that we're in sells a service. If you buy something for $1 and sell it for $2, you got a product company, but we're service only. Next again. Sales tax, usually no, because there again a service is labor. Labor usually is not taxed in most states. Canadian users, of course, we have the GST tax and some new taxes up there, and that does apply to you guys. Next, estimates, I'm going to go with no, usually for construction type work, these sorts of things. Sales receipts, no. We invoice and we hope to just get paid. Statements, yes. Whenever a customer owes you money on your accounts receivable for one or more loads, you'll be able to go and print statements to email or send to that customer showing what they owe and how old or overdue it is. So leave that on yes. Invoices, yes, definitely have to do this. I have seen people set this up and said no, and there's no, you can get to the invoicing system, but it's not easy. So absolutely make sure that you have a yes on that. Progress invoicing, no. There again, that would be phases of a job as in construction. Managing bills you owe, yes, we're going to stay with that. If you want to put in the bills as they come in the mail that you owe for your company, it provides a list and a reminder, and better yet, it gives you a cash requirement report. You can look into the future this week, next week. How much cash do I need to service my debt? You know, these things are very important in a business, so I'm going to say yes. If you're a broker, it's a must to do this. When you owe your carriers money, you really need to put a bill in so you got an accounts payable to age and see when to pay them and make sure you don't get overdue on them. Next, do you print checks? Strictly a personal preference. I used to. I don't mess with it much anymore. I actually buy checks that can be printed or handwritten, and you can do anything you want. But I'm going to say we can say yes. We'll go ahead and do that. Credit cards, sure you can do this. I'm not going to here because we'll get into merchant accounts and a lot of involved stuff. If you can accept credit cards, great. If not, leave that off. Tracking time. If you have customers that go by the hour, which is kind of rare, do it. Remember, this is for billing, not for employees. So I'm going to say no to that. Yes or no employees, strictly up to you guys. A lot of people do have yes, but a lot of people have 1099 owner-operators. Set this up, however, maybe you've got a brokerage and a trucking company, either one, you have office employees and owner-operators. That would be both. But whatever applies to you there. Next, multiple currencies. This is going to be only for Canadian users where you're doing Canadian and U.S. dollars on paying and collecting on different freight with different customers. So I'm going to leave this at a no. It really doesn't make a visible difference anyway. Using accounts, the chart of accounts is, I think, is a must, so we're going to let it do that. We're going to tell it here to start at the beginning of this fiscal year. Whenever you watch this video and whenever you install QuickBooks, it's the beginning of that year is what it's going to list here for you. Say yes there. Add a bank account. Sure, we'll add one just to see what it looks like. My bank. And this is basically your main account for your business. Most folks just have one. A lot of people have several. Put it in here. This is going to be a little stickly here. Okay, did you open the bank account on or before the date specified, meaning the fiscal year? Up to you, just answer it appropriately. Bank statement information, maybe not so important. This will come in later if you reconcile your checkbook in QuickBooks. You'll enter your beginning statement balance. It'll give you a list of deposits and checks. You'll check those off, and in the end, you'll balance. If it's your first time of using QuickBooks, you'll end up adding the checks and deposits that are on your statement, but you don't see them in QuickBooks because they happened last month before I got QuickBooks, and you'll add those, but only the ones on the statement. And as you do that, your first month will reconcile perfectly. But we're going to pass on this for now. Bank account review, add all the accounts you want here, and you can add them later too. It's no biggie. I'm going to say no. Now we got a list of accounts it's going to create, and we're going to just leave this alone for now. Hit the finish button, and at this point we're done. Company file has been created. It's been saved on the hard drive. In a default location, you have a name for your company file, which it should say it right up here at the top left. And one thing I'm going to tell you before we close out on this video, this is something I like a lot. View open window list, because in QuickBooks you'll get lots of things open and it gets confusing as to what's stacked up over here, and you have to minimize, and this makes things really easy to navigate. Okay, we're going to close this video today. Got through this as quick as I could. Hope this information was useful, everybody. Have a great day, and thanks for stopping by.